but basically it said an autistic Swedish girl decides to skip school is the little domino, and 7 dominoes later, this huge domino, it says the collapse of Europe's energy grid. And without commenting on the language used in the meme for a second, what is the point? The point is these conversations can so quickly go off the rails and are not about national security and economics and quickly become about moral virtue signaling that you miss the point. The point in the United States, just to be very blunt, is that the cost of electricity has gone up by 46% in the last decade. It will go up by another 40-odd% through 2030. So between 2010 and 2030, the cost of electricity for every single American will have effectively doubled, even though the ability to generate, particularly from wind and solar, have been reduced by 90%. Now, why is that? Well, it turns out that if you look inside the P&Ls of these utilities, it actually gives you the answer. So over the next 10 years, we have to spend, as a nation, just on upgrading power lines, $2 trillion. This is all like crazy OpEx, right? CapEx improvements for sunk cost investments. Our power line infrastructure in America is 20 plus years old, 30 years old. Our generation infrastructure is pretty poor. We have all of these failures. We don't have enough peakers. We don't have ability to store energy when we need it. So if you add this all up, I do think that there's a huge economic incentive to solve it, and there are practical ways to solve it. And that's what we have to stay focused on, because if we allow the moral virtue signaling to get in the way, we're going to make some really stupid decisions. We're going to keep trying to turn off nuclear. Yeah. Another thing that Elon said, we're not going to green light shale and nat gas. We don't have time for this. If you actually believe this is a cataclysmic issue, you need to basically be okay with hydrocarbons, because it is the only credible bridge fuel we have to keep the world working properly. Because otherwise, what David said is right. We are going to economically destroy parts of the world by trying to race towards this net zero goal. By the way, guys, I just want to take rip the Band-Aid off. Net zero by 2050, 2060, it is not possible. There is zero credible plans that the world has to do it. So we have to take small incremental steps, and many of them.
Yeah.
We should stay focused on that.
Yeah. The interesting thing.
And you cannot let people guilt trip you, because this is when you make these stupid mistakes like the entire continent of Europe made.
Yeah, really dumb.
Which is now going to cripple many economies of that entire continent unnecessarily.